Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider to Remaster the Golden Mask expansion. This is Dokazatelstva 115 speaking, but we have no time for proper level introductions because we are on our way to unlock the planned economy achievement, and that is to get the Golden Mask of Tornarsuk in less than 50 seconds. And yeah, it's a real doozy. I actually love this challenge. Let's just immediately take the turn here, push the block once, we don't need to do it twice, and you know what? For good measure, let's just clip through the corner over here, okay? Like utter glitch professionals. And now, all it will take is ignoring this gorgeous environment. Why are there wolves? What is this, Tomb Raider 1? And there is our prize. Lara, you got this, girl! And on screen, you can now see our remaining time. My god, this is chaos and mayhem. Why are the Inuits not helping us with the wolves? You know what? Let's use this opportunity to take a look at the Golden Mask of Tornarsuk. So this is the prize Lara has seen on the picture with the incredibly happy-go-lucky Inuit holding it in his hands. Well, Lara has finally found it. So this is the fabled mask supposed to have powers of reanimation. By the way, this is what it looked like in the original. Now, if this mask looks very familiar, that's because it was, let's be honest, heavily inspired by the Golden Mask of, well, supposedly Agamemnon, but that might not necessarily be the case. If you're interested to learn more about its real-world counterpart, I'm gonna leave a link in the description for an amazing article from Archaeology of Tomb Raider, okay? So, that was a stressful beginning to the level, but hey, we unlocked 2 achievements. There are 5 more to go. But you know what? I'd like to introduce you to this level properly. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna try this all over again and take us to our Zdorovye playthrough save file, and we'll take things from there properly and take our time to explore the environment. So let me properly welcome you to this level via lighting up a flare first, because it'd be very easy to miss this box of flares here. And once you really notice, it's kind of too late already, okay? So let's descend down safely and get our hands on a couple of goodies. Most likely these are some unfortunate prisoners the Soviets sent in when they discovered the shaft to get a lay of the land without any casualties to their own forces. These unlucky fellas provided us with a box of flares and shotgun shells, and whilst we pay them respect, let me officially welcome you to what I think is the best level of the expansion and one of the best classic Tomb Raider levels, the Furnace of the Gods. We are gonna get our hands on all 3 secrets, we are gonna get our hands on all 64 goodies. Hey, we already started doing that, and unfortunately, even if you want to kill all enemies in this level, it's possible to only kill 41 out of 45 enemies. And that's because 2 enemies will never ever awaken and become vulnerable, and 2 are outside of the boundaries of the level just as an environmental detail. I'm gonna talk more about that now. Now, it doesn't quite pain me as much right now, because remember, we are running our Zdorovye playthrough. That means there will be Inuits and we are not to anger them or kill them in any way, okay? Furthermore, there is another achievement we need to keep in mind, and that's called defensive capabilities. Now, the icon that the achievement has should already trigger some traumatic flashbacks to the Maria Doria levels. And yes, that's exactly it. It's another take on the No Fish Soup Today achievement. Luckily, it is only part of this level, doesn't span 4 levels like it was before, and also it is much easier. As in, back in Maria Doria levels, whenever the sharks would just bite the air, even though they would miss, that could already invalidate the achievement. But here, the catfish will bite the air, but as long as they do not actually connect with Lara's body and deal damage, that does not invalidate the achievement. Nevertheless, keeping the defensive capabilities criteria and still collecting all 64 pickups is a tricky challenge, but I'm gonna help you do that and navigate you through this level so that you can do that. And don't worry, we'll have our sweet revenge during our all kills playthrough via a montage again at the very end of this video. And also, it's my objective to do this without using medpacks, which in the all kills playthrough is going to be way more difficult. And we are going to unlock all 7 achievements. 2 of them we already have via the particularly stressful intro. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Let's continue on to the level. Now, we can actually now learn to appreciate this area and take a better look, because we're no longer in a rush for the planned economy. Let's do away with the red. There are quite a few in this area. And these murals really try to depict what's gonna happen. It seems that a couple of the locals or natives around here, the Inuits more likely, are carrying an offering to someone or something. And we're gonna learn more as we progress through the level. Now be careful, there are spiky walls coming from all these sides. So, let's do away with the rats first. Cool thing is, you can maneuver around these spiky walls, so they really aren't such a big threat. But don't even touch them, even from the blunt side. You are still gonna get damaged, okay? Be very tricky. I know it looks like a solid wall, even in the original graphics, but that is just a trick. And what it showcases is sort of an effigy of the Golden Mask itself, although it does look like the one in the original graphics, as opposed to the one in the remastered graphics. I would expect in the remaster, even depictions of the Golden Mask, they would update to actually, well, to remind us of it. But instead, even in the remastered graphics, these look like the original version of the Golden Mask, which I find a bit strange. Nevertheless, behind the spiky wall over here are a couple of automatic clips. Now, none of this really counts as a secret, but I like that you still get awarded for even thinking that way, okay? And that cage should look very familiar back when we were in our rush. Using the photo mode, however, you will be able to move across these dynamic objects, like the spiky wall, and take a sneak peek through the grate into the chamber with the Golden Mask itself, and my goodness, was it terrifying. Look at those faces. Something really unconcerning about them. And yeah, that's a familiar looking depiction. We've seen those at the very end of the Fool's Gold level, okay? Now this time I'm not gonna glitch through, I kinda wanna respect it as it was designed and do it properly. We can push it one block forward, we are not gonna cover up any goodies or anything like that via doing that. And now we can enter the blue chamber. I'd really love to understand, what is this chamber made out of? What kind of rock was used? And I think there are two versions of faces, one with open eyes and the other with more closed, darker eyes. Both are insanely creepy. Now, what I'd love to do here is to essentially take a picture of the wolves, although it is very dark, so Lara, I'm probably gonna recruit your help. Oh, look at it, it's still asleep, that's cute. I mean, we're gonna kill it anyway, but yeah. And for some reason the flare effect doesn't work here. That's strange. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this differently. I'm gonna take a screenshot like this. Oh my god, no, no. Okay, I really wanted to have some peace and quiet and take a screenshot of the wolves here in proper lighting conditions, but apparently it was not meant to be, okay? Let's take care of that one. And be very careful, because there is a third. Now, what I'd also like to do, because I completely omitted taking pictures of the Inuit spirits from the third secret of the first Cold War level. So, I think I'm gonna do it like this. Capture both of these guys, and the Golden Mask itself in its original and remastered glory, okay? Okay, so let's pick up the small med pack. Oh, and maybe get our automatics out, because there is a third wolf I'd like to take care of. Oh, there you are. Oh my god, it totally bit us. Bloody hell, they're so much faster than the Doberman dogs. Anyway, still a nice throwback to the original Tomb Raider one. That's kind of what I hinted at before. Now, the moment we pick up the Golden Mask, you'd think that these three guardians will turn hostile, the Inuits, right? And you're wondering, how the hell do we maintain the Zdorovye achievement conditions? Well, here's the real kicker. You pick it up, and these guys are friendly. Okay, they don't look like it, because they're running around like crazy, trying to get not to you, but through the door over here, okay? And it's gonna be a bit of a while before we manage to actually open it up. But the whole point is that there are a couple of henchmen, the Avalanche mercenaries, behind that gate, and these Inuits already react to them. That's why they're in their hostile stance, but they're not actually hostile towards Lara, which honestly makes no goddamn sense. She's the one that stole the mask. These guys are up to something, and they're not being transparent about it, and I don't trust them. Okay, so, I think now would be a very good moment to save the game, but you know what? First of all, let's summon a catfish. Oh, there it is, there it is. And what I'd really like to do is lure the catfish as away as possible from the other end, because in the other end is a bundle of harpoons I'd like to pick up. And not to get bitten by this catfish whilst picking it up is quite the challenge. But that's what we gotta do to unlock defensive capabilities and still get the achievement. And I am absolutely saving the game here during our achievement run in this slot. so we can try and pick up the bundle of harpoons without getting bitten. It might take a few attempts. Let's see how good our maneuvering is. Okay, there we go. And now, somehow... okay, first attempt failed, but we can just keep going. Nope. Okay, we managed to outsmart it via hugging the corner. Okay, awesome. So just try this out a couple of times, okay? It is possible, but it's just very tricky. But there's gonna be a much tougher couple of pickups later on in the level, where not getting bit by these fish will be quite the challenge. Now, running a circle around this room will summon, I think, roughly 12 rats. Yes, an absolute army of rats. And yet, they can even enter this shallow water. So, let's stand our ground here firmly and take care of them. That should be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there's one more. There we go, 12. We got this. Pretty stressful situation, very creative, I like it. And this entire time, we are watched by these creepy stone faces, okay? Now, don't worry, there are gonna be no more rats triggered by you picking up objects or anything like that. That's why I do recommend making the circle around the room first, okay? And let's just get our hands on the large medpack over here, and under the cage opposite, in the opposite corner, is actually lots of shotgun ammunition and a box of flares. And this is a very dark beginning to a very bright level later on, so we'll primarily be using flares over here. By the way, guys, in case you have any theories of what the stone or the rock formations giving a blue shade of color might be, please let us know in the comments. Some of those textures are specifically shining, as you can see underwater, these reflections. And I just have no bloody clue what it is, and I mean, perhaps it's nothing from the real world, right? It just could be completely made up to give this level a unique aesthetic. Now, it's funny, because we're at the beginning of the level, but because of the number of rats, we just took down so many enemies already. But alas, the enemies that follow will be much tougher, okay? We did fight off the sort of weaker, unarmored enemies of the offshore rig in the previous Fool's Gold level, but now we'll be facing the ones from the Cold War, and much more heavily armored, carrying automatic pistols and Uzis. Sort of the skiing mask enemies. Okay, now there should be a ladder, if I'm not mistaken. Wonderful. Oh, and yeah, by the way, in case you're wondering why I went over the pit twice, I just really wanted to break those breakaway tiles, you know. And this ladder should essentially reach the upper part of the chamber with the golden mask. Because not only is there M16 ammunition, which is going to be incredibly valuable, but also a lever with absolutely beautiful ornate texture, which is going to give us a bit more hint as to the aesthetics of the culture that lived here. But also it opens up a way forward. But first things first, we have a secret to find and an achievement to unlock behind this creepy face block. Imagine having to touch this and thinking, I don't know, some snakes or scorpions or even worse, spiders would come out of its eyes or something like that. Oof, I don't envy Lara her job. And there we go, this level's first secret. All it takes is just to move the block out of the way one more time, in case you think about that sort of thing. Yep, that's essentially it. Now, I considered saving here, but I think it's gonna be way more fun without saving here. There is an achievement called Solving the Problem of Deficit, that asks you to pick up this box of flares, but if Barking Monastery 2 does anything, it's that this is a trap. A boulder will start triggering a ring immediately, but the ask is to pick it up nevertheless and still making out alive, and the trick here more than anything is to use the roll key. So there we go. Lara, please, please, please. Whew. There we go. Took a while for the achievement to trigger, but there we go. Solve the problem deficit, pick up the box of flares before the boulder rolls down. Not entirely. The achievement unlocks once the boulder finishes rolling down animation, but you are to have it picked up by then, okay? But if it wouldn't be for the achievement, or if you don't care about it, my recommendation, of course, is to do it after triggering the boulder and coming down to safety. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the grate over here overlooks the chamber with the rats and movable blocks, giving it a bit of light, which is really cool. This was already the case in the original. And we get a sweeping shot of the chamber where the golden mask was, and this is the gorgeous ornate lever I talked about. At the very top, some depiction of a really creepy creature, and then what could be wings or some faces on its shoulder pads, something like that. This is what it looked like in the original. I love it, it's gorgeous. In the original you could tell that this is a wooden texture. In the remastered it's kind of a bit more tricky to discern what material that might be. Now we opened the door, but don't worry, the fight with the avalanche hoodlums did not start yet. There is another door behind that door that needs to open first, and that's only gonna happen with your manual intervention, but don't forget the M16 clips here, okay? And that's it. Let's make a safety drop. And yeah, the first time I played this level, I thought the Inuits are hostile because we picked up the mask, but no, they just react like this because of the hoodlums. Oh, we re-triggered the music. Ah, that's fine. Reminds us of Ice Palace. And behind this door are the hoodlums. You can maybe make up some of the movement behind the bars. Let's first trigger this lever. And there's one already. Oh, there was another one. And you know what? We don't need to participate. Let's make full use of the Zdorovye achievement. And at least let these guys make themselves useful. Shame they were not clustered together. But, oh well. Okay, I'm gonna peek from behind this corner just to see the action. This is pretty funny. Okay, they're pretty tough. Nice, they took one down. A second one, maybe the third one as well. Okay, come on guys, you got this. They took all three of them down and they actually survived. That is pretty damn impressive. Yeah, we triggered the music via crossing this threshold, a bit late for that. But yeah, pretty awesome. So yeah, not only do we not get kills for these three Inuits because of the Zdorovye achievement, but they might steal away these kills from you as well. But that is fine, because I'm gonna do an all-kills playthrough afterwards, okay? So for now, we've conserved a lot of health, which is awesome in its own right. And going over through this golden corridor, we get a preview of a molten lava river. Sorry, not lava, actual liquid gold. It must be really warm here, Lara. Maybe you should take that bomber jacket off. But yeah, the heat from this gold will also explain why in the following level we'll see some actual vegetation, okay? It's really well thought out. Okay, on we go. And now we'll essentially initiate a very long climb to the top of this golden molten gold waterfall. By the way, this is what it looked like in the original. Still, you can make out it's a yellow liquid, but I think they got across the point that it's molten gold way better in the remasters, unsurprisingly. Oh. Well, that was pretty damn awkward. Okay, guys, let me try this one more time. Okie dokie, right back here. So what I was originally trying to show you was a way to reach a grenade pickup tucked away there. Something tells me if we wouldn't find the grenade launcher in Fool's Gold, this is where we would have found it instead, but that's not really our case. But what I'm trying to say is that this is all purely optional, okay? So if you don't like it, and are traumatized by my death in here, you don't have to engage with this at all. And look at that. We are at the bottom of a huge molten gold river. And by the way, interesting thing, if you switch to the original graphics, there's a water effect and also a water sound effect. But you switch to the remastered graphics, it's gone. So it seems to switch not just the graphics or textures and the lighting conditions, but also the sound effects, which I didn't know up until this point. That is pretty damn impressive. Now, one point I was trying to make is, again, do not safety walk forwards or backwards, because Lara will happily step into the molten gold and catch fire. Instead, use side steps to align yourself to borders of these tiles, okay? That's the best way to maneuver around. Now, the sort of intended way, we are actually about to start an absolutely epic rock climbing exercise. around this molten gold river. And a couple of times, just like when we turn the corner here, we'll get a sweeping shot of the place, which is, in my opinion, just truly breathtaking. One of the things that's very difficult for me personally to keep in mind is the plethora of pickups around here, mixed with spiky pits, long pits, molten gold, that sort of thing. This is a very tricky terrain to navigate. Okay, so first of all, let me show you that tucked away here are flares. If we were to just run forward and follow here, we would take a lot of damage. On to the right is actually a small medpack that's again invisible to the naked eye unless you explore these pits, okay? Just like that, hidden behind the rocks. And there's way more to collect around here, and there are also going to be a couple of flying enemies, ravens, for us to keep in mind. So thankfully, I'm using my notes to keep all this in mind, but without them I would be a bit at a loss. So hopefully this video will be a useful reference guide to you, to not miss a single pickup or anything like that, alright? Now this one is gonna have to be a grabbing jump, and let's just admire how gorgeous this is. I mean, it was pretty damn cool in the originals, but now it shines like gold. Oh, and it seems like an endless source of it, and it actually increases temperature in the whole place. Quite makes sense, right? Which means that rather than just being a frozen Alaskan wasteland, we are gonna find something quite interesting in the following level. It's pretty damn awesome. Actually, when I was reading out Stella's, the synopsis from Stella's Tomb Raider site, it said that Lara's looking for a Shangri-La-like place in Alaska hidden here, and this temperature of the endless source of gold essentially makes it possible for vegetation to even grow. But rather than Shangri-La, I would honestly call it El Dorado, and we are gonna find ourselves finding an entire city made out of gold. Oh, let's think more like a village size, but still made out of gold if we keep following this stream, which is simply awesome. Now let's pick these M16 clips up, another sweeping shot, and a warning music and noises made by... Oh my god, I thought you were gonna fly from distance. So that sweeping shot actually zoomed out the camera so that we wouldn't see the raven. Oh, that's just evil. Oh, but this time I definitely hear these beasts. God, they're annoying. Very funny sound when they die, though. Just... Be careful about that one. That one is a pit with spikes, just completely randomly for no apparent reason, okay? Now, what I'd like to show you here, yeah, this will serve as a way back, but we don't need that. Instead, down here should be some automatic clips and the way to continue the level already, okay? But if you are interested in more pickups and the second secret, please don't yet continue down that way, okay? When we are ready to continue, I'll make a save because of a particular achievement, but for now, let's go back a couple of paces. And on top of this rocks pile will actually be some shotgun shells, and it will serve as an excellent launching platform for us to get our hands on the second secret. Also, picking up the shotgun shells here will summon more ravens, so just keep those in mind. It's gonna be a while before they get here. Okay, there we go. And now, what I'd love to do is jump here. Oh, I can already hear them. My god, seems like they're everywhere by the sounds of it. There's another one. Oh! Whew. Okay, 3 ravens like these. It's actually 2 plus 1, not all 3 appearing at the same time. When we picked up the shotgun shells, we spawned the appearance of 2, but it just took a while for them to get here. And now, this is a bit of a leap of faith, but again, the photo mode is such an indispensable tool here, because you can scout ahead. This is where we need to go. Falling down here would be safe, but we would still take some damage. Instead, we want to jump over there. Let's see if I can make it. I pressed action at the very last second to just tilt Lara slightly forward. Okay, and falling down here, Lara is strangely not cooked alive. Instead, there is a perfectly formed pile of golden bars here, okay? Awesome, so that's 2 out of 3 secrets. The third one will wait for us. It's towards the very end of the level. And now, to make it back is actually a bit more tricky than making it here, in my opinion. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. I thought the rock continues. Well, this is a good demonstration that you cannot safety walk in or out of places. Oh dear god, I think the last time I saved was with the harpoons pickup next to the first catfish of this level. So I'll see you guys back here once I'll repeat half the level. Yay! Okay, so here we are back again, climbing out of the fiery pits of hell. Let's keep the boundaries of that safe rock in mind this time. And instead, I'm gonna align myself perfectly via doing a hop back, never ever covering more than a single square, okay? There we are, back again safely, sidestep alignment, and yeah, let's see if we can make this jump without randomly catching fire. Okay, I think we actually did it, guys. So, I'm finally going to make... Oh, god damn it, I knew this area is gonna get me one final time. Okay, the damage is minimal, it's fine, it's fine. But like I was trying to say, I'm finally going to make a save here because we are gonna tackle a rather fun achievement. Okay. So the achievement itself is called Will Surpass You and Move Forward, that asks us to run through this corridor without stopping in any shape or form. So let's just extend our trajectory via making these awkward turns, and that's it, we avoided the blade altogether. We'll surpass you and we'll go forward, run through a corridor with a rolling blade without stopping and without, well, jumping, essentially, is the trick. So there we go. Our reward is not only an achievement, but also a large medpack, and I think the coolest reward out of all of them, a sneak peek into an actual El Dorado. This, my friends, is the Molten Gold River, the source coming somewhere out of there, flowing, well, it doesn't seem to have a direction right now, it seems to be a bit stale, but it's also flowing down here into this golden city. I have no idea how people lived here and didn't get cooked alive. Maybe it was a working mechanism back then and it just overflown. It has overflown as it stopped working, but there are a couple of huts here, really reminding me of Tomb Raider's Once Peru. There's also wolves, and there's gonna be one enemy, a signature enemy to Tomb Raider Once Peru that we're gonna see here and get rid of in a rather funny way. Now, before we'll be able to make it into the city or village or however you want to call it proper, let us first follow the Golden River over here, because as we navigate this corridor, we'll again see depictions on the murals showing what I can only assume is a sacrificial ritual, okay? And guess who is going to be the main sacrifice? We can actually see a couple of depictions showing polar bears. They're carrying a carcass of a polar bear, throwing it into a pit, and then it gets devoured by something. Guys, what I'd like to know is what on earth are they carrying here? Because this isn't the golden mask that we're carrying. I think this is supposed to be it, and they're giving it to someone over here. But what on earth is this? Is that a bundled up baby? I mean, that would be a huge baby if that was the case. Or are both of these supposed to be depictions of the mask? I actually do not know, but let me know your theories. But it seems that the locals, the Inuits, are sacrificing animals to something and also carrying the mask, okay? Now this is where the gold somehow turns into water. Oh yes, there's a polar bear in the distance. See what I mean by Peru throwbacks? But let's try and make it here without being bitten by this annoying bastard. See, he snapped at the air, but that will not invalidate our defensive capabilities achievement. Now, when it comes to polar bears, there's only one correct way to do this, because Kakie Vaše Dokazatelstva, I think what this means in Russian is where's your evidence or where's your proof. It's kind of a nod and kind of making fun of the secret state police, essentially kidnapping people, interrogating them, torturing them, you know, state security first and foremost. This is a kind of nod to that, asking everyone for papers. So what we are going to do is we're going to get rid of polar bears without leaving evidence, the same way we did this in Tomb Raider 2's Great Wall of China. So we need to land the killing blow with grenade launcher. This is actually much simpler. Just like 2 T-Rexes back then, there are going to be 2 polar bears here, but all it takes to bring them down is 1 grenade. So you don't really even need to soften them up before blowing them up. It makes it the perfect weapon to get rid of them. But what I'd like to do... Oh my god. or someone likes to play games, what I'd love to do is take a picture, just to see what they look like, and yet they're exactly as creepy as I remember. They have these hollow, lifeless eyes. I was kind of hoping the remasters would fix that, but no, not really. It's kind of just as bad as in the original, so there's that. And now, there's nothing left of the creepy bear. Now, the achievement didn't unlock yet, because there's another one we need to take care of, like that, okay? So I guess finding the grenade launcher beforehand is part of the challenge, but it is fine. Now the other polar bear is right around the corner over here. So let's wait for it via making another step will trigger its appearance. And there we go. Kakie, Vashi, Dokazatelstva, defeat 2 polar bears without evidence. That's essentially the gist of it. What I really like about this achievement is that it essentially teaches you grenade launcher is the perfect weapon on these guys. I think in my original 2015 Let's Play, I took them down with a shotgun, not wanting to waste grenades, but I guess I didn't realize back then how good of a weapon the grenade launcher is for them. Okay, don't forget the harpoon bundle over here. And now, let's dive into the frozen river, which must be quite the thermal shock for Lara after being next to the molten gold everywhere. There should be 2 bundles of M16 ammunition here, but what I think is even cooler than that is that we get a sneak peek in this water reservoir to various areas spanning the level. So first there's the frozen river we entered, and this, my friends, is sort of a golden barrier that once opened up will release this icy water into the molten gold, making it possible for us to swim inside the village. We are gonna flood the whole place, which is exactly as cool as it sounds. Over on this side we get a preview of grenades, interestingly enough. Over on this side, a preview of a boulder and a ramp room. These 2 are actually connected on that side. Over on this side, we get a preview of a small medpack and flares, which we're gonna get immediately. And over on this side, just a corridor with a door, which will all make sense a bit later on, and all these are parts of the level that are interconnected. Ah, this is so incredibly cool. Okay, so first of all, let's climb up here. I'm probably gonna light a flare. Maybe it's not really needed, but I just like to do that. So we are on the other side of the first icy barriers. Now these are not breakable or anything like that, but they are just an amazing windows into future parts of the level, and to allow you to make checklist of sorts to see where you've been. Okay, and you know what, before Lara will use her legs, let's shimmy, because her shimmying is faster when she's just hanging by her arms. Okie dokie, and now we are on the other side of this icy barrier, which was showing us the boulders, okay? So first of all, what I'd like to do is press the button, and all you need to do is just hop back. You'll be under the boulder trajectory, and you'll avoid this one as well, which is pretty damn cool. If you want, you can already access the Golden City of El Dorado, that's how I'm gonna call it. Oh no, I skipped a cool camera angle, but essentially, let me reproduce that camera angle to you right now. Essentially, it gave us a sweeping shot of this entire area, which is exactly as cool as it sounds. Before we'll enter the city proper, however, there are a couple of goodies I want us to get our hands on, and I would recommend not entering this with a flare, because that can result in fatal death or injury. There will be a very short ladder, so we'll need to hang on by our arms to be able to shimmy here and drop safely. Now I'm gonna light another flare. Essentially, I'm just lighting up flares in this level, that's all I'm doing. And let's try and make it out of the boulder's trajectory. There are no more boulders in this room, despite the fact it looks like there should be at least 3. No, nothing like that. Before we exit using the golden door there, we are on yet another icy barrier's side that previewed us these grenade pickups, okay? So again, we're near the reservoir itself, and we're gonna release its icy water into the city. Okay, and our reward being more Uzi clips, or perhaps Uzis themselves if we wouldn't have them yet. It's really difficult to say, as we're picking up all the pickups. The normal weapons are gonna turn into ammo. This is actually one of the few things I like more about Tomb Raider 4, and that's that it would always show you the actual weapon you would have found, and give you just your normal ammo equivalent pickup. Now let's get M16 out, because there'll be a hoodlum. Oof. Okay, I think we took 1 bullet to the chest, but that's fine. He does drop the same amount of ammunition we essentially used to bring him down, so it's fine. Okay, and now we are essentially, compared to the point where we entered originally, we are on this side. So you could have entered the city from here with the two boulders, or via taking a detour and picking up grenades and Uzis, you now entered through here, okay? I think there was an icy barrier somewhere over here. Oh, that's right. So I think we checked out all the icy barriers, other sides. Behind this is a door with a golden mask, or the original golden mask if you switch to original graphics, and a lever which will actually open up the reservoir and release the water. The whole point to do that is to be able to safely pick up this golden gem, which was exactly as small as the gemstones in Barking Monastery in the original, but here they put it in the correct size. We need to flood it to be able to pick it up and insert it in here to open up this very ominous gate. Oh look, there's a light source here. Oh, that's pretty cool, they added these. To be able to open up the gate into the final part of the level, okay? So yeah, that's the gist of it. But we have a couple of hoodlums to take care of and goodies to collect. And again, this can be a bit confusing unless you tackle these houses and huts in a particular order. It's easy to miss stuff. So again, I'm gonna refer to my notes. Just try not to fall down, and by now we saved up so much Uzi ammo. We can use these rather than automatics to bring them down. Okay, and around this corner, he should appear. There we go. Oh, these are the elite ones with Uzis. Nice, he was a bit indecisive. Well, good for us. Again, drops the same amount of ammo we used to bring him down, which I just find very funny. Like, the whole universe is in balance. Inside the hut was automatic clips, and now, yeah, this is the way we would have reached if we entered directly after the two boulders trap, but instead, we don't need to worry about that area anymore. What I like to do is just make it... Oh my god, what is that? What? How on earth did he... Okay, this is weird. That never happened to me. Usually it takes much longer to trigger this guy. But sometimes enemies have multiple trigger points. Well, as long as he's alone, I'm fine. Well, this could be actually really advantageous, because that means he's not accompanied by his friend, and they're always easier to take down if they're divided. Anywho, let's pick up this small medpack on this aisle over here. And now try not come in contact with that gold. Okay, there we go. So this is the point at which he was supposed to spawn and trigger. Which is just strange. Instead, there's his buddy all on his own and abandoned, okay? Now, just to gather my bearings, like I said, the orange vest hoodlum was supposed to spawn once we entered this area, but okay, we took care of both of them, we got their goodies, and really the only point of these two huts is to get to the lever inside, but I really want to just show you things from various directions. Can we fit the window? Oh yeah, awesome. Okay, nothing on the roofs of these houses, by the way, in case you were wondering. Okay, and now we open the gate to the lever that will release the frozen reservoir. Now, I guess I'd like to just out of principle take a different path that we used to get here. And there we go. And using the surrounding rocks over here, we now have the full access to the lever. So just observe how much the scenery will change. We see the reservoir opening animation, and by the way, if you want, you can absolutely enter the now empty reservoir, but there's no point. But my thought process is you would be able to pick up the two M16 bundles if you didn't do so already, and even the frozen river where the second polar bear was is now devoid of water. This is such a cool attention to detail. They could have easily kept water up to this level, but no, they just decided to empty the whole thing. And with the panels now open, the whole place is flooded. It is safe to swim somehow and not get cooked alive, and you can absolutely start picking up these goodies. But this, my friends, is tricky, because there are 3 catfish down there with us that spawn in certain ways, and we need to keep the defensive capabilities achievement in mind. So if you forgive me, I am absolutely going to save the game here and show you what I think is the safest and most guaranteed way to make this work. So first of all, let's get our hands on the harpoon bundle over here, and afterwards a large medpack in the hut over here, because this way we have not yet triggered a single catfish. However, once we pass through the door over here and we approach this tile with the gemstone, we have triggered one. When we enter this hut, there's gonna be another, but we should have time to pick up the automatic clips here. And then in the hut adjacent to it is another tile with automatic clips that triggers the appearance of the third catfish. And now with all three catfish spawned, what we essentially want to do is just lure them as far away as possible from the automatic clips that we left there, okay? Okay, there's one, there's another, and now they're essentially just swimming freely, and what I'd like to do is just go for it and pick up the automatic clips. Right now, Miss Croft, you got this. There is no chance in hell to pick these up and then avoid the catfish that is triggered. You need to lure it away first. I think we got that out of the way. And now all we gotta do is make it to this staircase, get out of the water before any of them have a chance to bite us. And we have essentially done it. Now don't worry, the defensive capabilities achievement is gonna unlock at the level end stat screen, okay? So don't panic in case you don't see it popping now. And by the way, same gist as the gemstones in Barking Monastery. That's essentially it. The incorrect size of the original and the correct size of the remasters. So there we go. And the gate now opens. There we go, and let me welcome you to the final magnificent area. This, my friends, seems to be the source of all the gold that flooded the entire city, covered it in gold. And it just keeps coming. What we need to do is avoid the traps, pick up goodies, pick up secrets, and make it to the very top. One important caveat, there are two Inuit spirits over here, but these are more of decoration. They will never ever wake up, and there is unfortunately no way to kill them. But I need to be fair and count these guys as two unkillable enemies, which absolutely breaks my heart, but that's the way it is. Okay, we trigger the first trap, but let's just make it here, ignore it. And there's one adventurer who made it quite far. Again, I wonder if it was a Soviet prisoner or someone. But alas, it just wasn't far enough. Now, let's make it on the other side. We'll trigger another trap. Oh boy. This is pretty damn exciting. And climb up. Yeah, and the Inuits are just observing us, but we cannot interact with them in any way, nor kill them. Which in Zdorovye playthrough is inconsequential, but in my Old Tales playthrough drives me absolutely mad. I even tried to fire off grenades in their direction, just to see that as 3D projectiles, if they'll connect and make a hit, but unfortunately even firing grenades just passes through them, okay? You cannot hit them that way. There really doesn't seem to be a way to kill them, but again guys, if you know something that I don't, please let us all know in the comments. It will be incredibly useful and an awesome revelation if you tell me, hold on a sec Zelgaris, there actually is a way to kill them. I'll be so very grateful to you. Okay. Don't try to run through this corner, by the way, because Lara will start sliding down. That's why I'm making a jump here, even though it was a bit awkward. And now we'll get to the top of this huge funnel. But before we'll use it to get to the very level end, I'm gonna show you the best way to the third secret. Because the third secret is actually over here. Much easier to see in the original graphics, then we'll use the ladder down and descend to pick up the golden skull, okay? But to get here, we'll essentially just need to slide from the top, and to do that, we need to overcome one final obstacle, and that's this patch of gold, okay? And given this is a square-based world, it's a bit tricky to figure out where the gold's reach starts and ends, but we did it, oh thank god. And I think... again, let's use the photo mode. I think this is the row of tiles we need to be... Oh, so one to the left. Okay, good thing I checked. There we go, and now we can just slide down. Awesome. Oh, we could have also adjusted via shimmying, I guess, so it wasn't that important. And now let's use the ladder, but be very careful to not fall forward via making an unfortunately timed drop and regrab. And there we go, the third secret of the level is ours. There is unfortunately no secret reward tied with this one, but we do get a cool preview of breakaway tiles and a large medpack, okay? And now we essentially gotta use the same ladder to get back up. And for a while there, when Lara was making that step forward, I actually got a micro stutter, which concerns me, because if we get a micro stutter during ladder climbing, Lara will release the action key and we'll probably get ourselves killed. It happens to me sometimes when I'm playing the remasters. It happened a couple of times, especially in Tomb Raider 1. None of the patches seem to fix this issue for me. But let's see. Okay, yes, this is a solid tile. And now we can just slide forward onto a safe tile and use the ladder on this side to climb up. Essentially, there are just ladders everywhere. By the way, right beneath us was the skeleton with the 2 goodies we picked up at the beginning before we started the climb up. You know what? The way this brown rock face looks and the lava... sorry, I keep calling it lava, it's molten gold. Flow. It really makes me think of lava cakes for some reason. Oh, I'm really getting hungry now. Okay, and one final thing before I'll make a save, and let's make it back on the other side without catching fire. Oh, thank you, Lara. Okay. And now, my friends, I'm going to make a level save here, because we have not an easy challenge ahead of us. The Dissolution is the name of the game here, and we are tasked with breaking all the breakaway tiles above the funnel and make it down safely. Now, this is something I would have done anyway, since now I'm focusing on sort of all breakables, which I didn't do in the past, but Tomb Raider 4 actually opened my eyes to that. So, let me see, there's 9 on this side and there's 5 on this side, so all these 14 panels. It's a puzzle, and it's a fun one to solve. There's a pattern to the movement you need to do to make it there. One tricky thing is, of course, making it to the funnel itself, because it's quite the drop. I'm pretty sure you can do it even from the safety of this tile with a large medpack and take a small falling damage, but it's actually much better to do it via triggering this breakaway tile and just having a forward motion. Not too much or you'll break Lara's neck, but not too little or you'll end up in the molten gold, okay? So, let's do it. See if my pattern still holds up. How does this ladder not catch fire? I truly do not know. Awesome, let's pick up the large medpack. You can make a pause here to do that, it will not invalidate the achievement. Okay, and this should be enough. The Dissolution, please. Thank you. Break all shattered floor panels over the big funnel. So the check happens once you're sliding. You will not actually unlock the achievement upon breaking them, but upon sliding down after having broken them. So the achievement does some scan of the area to see if all the breakaway tiles are triggered or if no breakaway tiles are present. Now we ended up in a massive cage, which is very foreshadowing, and I hear very familiar sounding footsteps. And my friends, not only was I correct about the Barking Monastery monks, but these Inuits have tricked us. They trapped us in a giant cage and they're gonna carry us over to sacrifice us to... I'm gonna keep it a mystery till the next video, I'm sorry. But to the same creature we've seen depicted across the panels everywhere, and the same creature I mentioned Lara already encountered and defeated before the events of Tomb Raider 1. Some of you know, some of you don't. I'm sorry for creating the suspense, but it's gonna be such a shocking revelation in the beginning of the next level. Anywho, I was right all along, be it Barking Monastery monks who turn hostile in New Game Plus, or these Inuits who actually just wanna sacrifice Lara. They're bastards, and they don't deserve your mercy. And that's why, following this, there's gonna be an all kills montage where we'll do away with them. But first of all, I'm gonna create sort of the Zdorovye achievement run, level end save, and let's see what the statistics look like. Oh, thank God. Defensive capabilities don't hurt the catfish, but don't let them bite you either. So it worked, and it worked despite the fact that they've done initiated the biting animation a couple of times. But they did not connect with Lara's body and deal damage to us, so it worked flawlessly, and I also showed you how to get all 64 pickups whilst avoiding them. I'm proud of that. It's kind of a tricky challenge. We found all 3 secrets, we killed, well, landed 30 kills out of 41 possible kills, but there are 45 enemies. I'm counting these 2 Inuits at the very end as 2 unkillable enemies, as well as those Inuit spirits on the pillars in the final furnace room, okay? So yeah, the kills are never gonna look great in this level, but we really took very little damage throughout this level, which is pretty awesome, and we unlocked all its 7 achievements. Like I said, Furnace of the Gods is the pinnacle of the Golden Mask expansion for me. It's such a throwback to Tomb Raider 1's Peru with the wolves, the bears, the environment, a little village with sort of a fountain in the center, albeit submerged in molten gold. The most epic golden waterfall rock climbing exercise there ever was. The placement of the second secret, truly vicious but awesome. And even the achievements, except for the defensive capabilities, were a lot of fun. I love this level so much. One of the best. Let me guys know if you share my love of it. What I also love is just the constant environmental storytelling and foreshadowing of what's gonna happen, and just the trick at the very end that you make it to the funnel but you end up in a cage that your allies, the Inuits, actually tricked you in and are gonna carry you over to sacrifice you too. You'll have to wait and see. Okay guys, I'm so happy how this video turned out. I hope you had a blast, but if like me you are very angry at the Inuits, you're gonna love this next montage of all the kills in the Furnace of the Gods. Now that was a lot of fun. Oh, and one important caveat, or maybe caviar, I'll let you decide. When it comes to the final 3 goldfish, you don't actually need to finish them off with your harpoon gun. You can do that via climbing onto a solid surface and using conventional guns. However, I wanted to challenge myself and get all the goodies and kill all 3 catfish using the harpoon gun in one breath. And we succeeded. Let's just pretend Lara didn't start to drown there at the very end. So thank you so much for watching. Oh, and if you have any information about how to take care of the 4 unkillable enemies, that being the 2 Inuit spirits that will never awaken, and the 2 Inuits at the very end on the peripheries of the cage, please let us know in the comments. For the spirits, I tried harpoons and grenades as 3D projectiles, nothing worked, okay? But if you have information, we'll all be grateful for you sharing it in the comment section. Now, before I tell you what's next, I would like to say thanks to my amazing patrons. Blangoopel, Mick, Severin Drax, Enstickle and Katie Danger. Thank you guys so much for being my Winstons and for treating us to a delicious bowl of catfish soup. I would like to say big thanks to my caretaker Winston, Michael McConkie. Thank you so much for your support and also for treating all the burns Lara suffered today with ancient Inuit medicine. Nothing treats them quite like Alaskan snow. Next, I would like to say big thanks to my veteran Winstons, Andrea Pavilianity and Alexander. Thank you guys so much for your support of the channel, and Andrea, thank you for sharpening every single harpoon we fired off today, and to you Alexander for polishing the golden mask, ensuring that it shines brightly enough for us to find it in the dark. And finally, I would like to say a very, very special thanks to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for your generous support and also for sharing with me suggestions on how to improve the channel. And also there's a special thanks coming from Lara for freezing half the Inuit warriors into frozen solid state. The thing is, I used to think those are spirits, but in fact we uncovered the truth. That is your handiwork and you froze them so that they cannot impede our progress. Thank you so much for that. And on a final note, I'd like to say thanks to my free Patreon members as well as to you guys for watching and for sharing your own experience with these levels. Honestly, the fact that all of us across all platforms now get to experience these expansion levels as well as on PC digitally, that is the single most important aspect of the Remastered trilogy in my opinion, that all of us get to experience them if we so desire. Second most important aspect, free saving in Tomb Raider 1 and 3 on consoles. That wasn't always the case. Now also I'd like to thank you for your patience. I know it took me a while to release this video. In general, all the Golden Mask expansion levels take me ages to do because of the 2 simultaneous playthroughs, but I do hope that time and effort has been worth it so far. And also, I'd like to maybe share some happy news. I'm about to go and catch an early flight tomorrow to go on my first vacation in the 2 years since I started running my own business. I'm gonna be gone for 4 days, and then next week's Wednesday I'm gonna be back and working on the next level. Don't worry, I already practiced it on all non-Steam platforms, I have all the achievements, I have a plan, I know exactly what to do, okay? And the reason I wanted to share this with you and why I think it's so cool is that I'm actually gonna go to Tomb Raider 2 location. It's Venice, of course, no big surprise there, okay? So, I have already practiced. The moment I'm back, I'm gonna start recording and editing, and you can look forward to the next video where we'll wrap up the Alaskan chapter of this expansion next week. So I'm just gonna ask you for a little bit more patience, and thank you for all the patience you have shown so far and your amazing support. And you know what? Wish me a safe flight, and I'm gonna wish you guys happy raiding.